Good morning. How can I assist you?
I just wanted to say, connect with you, Sean, because I've watched some of your videos and I'm very impressed. Um, I want to work with you, Sean, and more importantly, I mean, I already signed up with your wife, Elder, for the SAM registration. I signed up on the third.
Okay,
Uh,
great.
yeah, no one has called me yet or anything. I'm guessing it's because it's holiday season. I don't know,
No,
but.
not at all. In fact, you should have gotten an immediate email that said, "Here's your SAM registration packet. Fill it out." And it should have had a phone number to call and everything.
No, I never got that. I just got the thank you page. I'm just going to share my screen here.
No, no, no. Don't do that. What I want you to do is I want you to go into the spam in your email.
I did already. I've been checking it for like 3 days. There was nothing there. Absolutely nothing there, Sean. And I wanted to share my screen just to show you that. Um, question lead flow. Yeah, nothing on the. I signed up on the third, and since then I've had nothing in my spam and nothing in my personal email from anyone
It would have said,
whatsoever.
"Here's your SAM registration packet." But that's no problem. When we get off this Zoom, I'll make sure you get that. I'll text you, and we can solve that problem.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's cool then. But yeah, I just wanted to just kind of introduce myself. As you can tell, I'm not American. I'm British, British born. I'm from London, South London. This is a South Londoner's accent. And 7 years ago, I'm actually in the state of Florida right now. 7 years ago, well, it's a little bit longer than that. It's like 9 years ago. Um, I used to be a security guard, hence the muscles. Bouncing people out of the clubs and stuff. And I just decided, like, look, I need to make some more money, man. This is not my trajectory. So I went online looking around for uh, coaching facilities and help. And I ran into a guy in a Facebook group who basically was making a whole bunch of money doing drop shipping, a drop shipping model. Are you familiar with it?
I am.
Yeah. So, cut long story short, he taught me how to set up my Shopify store, showed me how to source products from China, showed me how to run Facebook ads, which is what I did. And I was good at doing it, and I did it for about uh, from 2016 till 2019, where things just went south. The business wasn't running no more. I mean, it was still there, and it's still there. People are still doing it, but Sean, it was just very unstable. You've got my working capital pretty much in my PayPal account because predominantly most people are 60% of the transactions are from PayPal, 40% are from Stripe, right? That 60% is pretty much my working capital. If PayPal shut my account down, I'm out of business basically. And it happened multiple times, and then the last time it broke the camel's back. So I said to myself, I need to find something else. So I looked around again, and then I found another. I looked at real estate, and I thought, yes, real estate. I've always heard people say the richest people in the world, they always do some kind of real estate. Maybe I should head that direction. So I found myself a coach. He's in Tennessee. I did a whole year with that, and I learned a lot. And then I actually got my first deal. Funny enough, I didn't actually run any advertising to get that first deal, but I had a student that I was going to close for coaching with e-commerce, and she couldn't pay the 4,500, and then she just accidentally managed to mention to me like, "Hey, I'm thinking about selling my mom's house," and then my ears went up. I was like, "Oh, hey, hello, I know about that." So then we started talking. Property was worth 230 on the market. We started negotiations. She started at 200. I always want a gazillion dollars for their property. Got her down to 130. We agreed, formal, verbal agreement. Then it took her 3 days to sign the contract. She had reservations. She had still a bunch of questions. But every day I'd call her, and then we would go over it again. And then by the third day, she finally signed. So I got to 130. Did the inspection report for 500. Got the first two. I was going to get three contractors to go in there and check the place and give me an estimate. The second contractor that went in there, so I got the first one to go in, second one went in there. He looked at it and was like, "Wow, I like this. I want to buy it." So then we opened negotiations. He offered me 25 at the start. It took about 3 days again, but by the time I got him to the end, I finished at 42,000. Now, so I got that document from him, which he signed, which I contract to. And then I got her document and I mailed it to the title company. And from start to close, it was about 42 days. Um, However, there was back taxes owed about 4,300 or something. So I spoke to the lady that I was selling it to. She said she's not going to take it. Spoke to the buyer. Buyer said, hell no, I'm not going to take it. So I had to take it. And I walked away with 37,000 and some change. So that was my very first real estate transaction. I got the HUD to prove it. And after that, I just didn't see myself running advertising again, because this whole business of running ads is very intense and it gets my nerves going. You know, I was just thinking that there's got to be a way to get leads without having to spend a whole bunch of money. However, I had a friend in the Facebook group who had a very strong accent, Jamaican accent, and he wasn't really good with negotiation, and he lived in Fort Lauderdale, because I was in Tampa at this time. So I moved down to Fort Lauderdale. I'm in Fort Lauderdale now, and we agreed that I would do the negotiations and he would just pay for the ads. He was spending $3,000 a month on Google Ads, and the leads are like anywhere between 50 and 90 bucks per lead. I closed about 6 deals, but then I realized that that wholesale deal I did was like 42 days, but he wanted to like extrapolate the maximum amount of equity each time for every property we got hold of. So it's taken a whole long time for it to get to the title table and close. The first deal I actually papered, it took 6-7 months. So then now I'm like, dude, I can't function like this. This is not, it's not good for me to be waiting 7 months to get paid. So I got to pivot again. So now I started looking around, and I just watched this movie, War Dogs, and seeing that, the guy's making money selling bullets, and I was thinking about that. Is that a real thing? Then then I jumped on a podcast, and I saw someone talking about how they're doing government contracts, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I did research. I found 3 guys, right, who were doing government contracting, but I still wasn't convinced, because all 3 of them, they had on average about 4 years experience, but the way they were going about it was just kind of like random stuff. Like one guy was doing, supplying the government with products that they needed. So he was buying a bunch of products and shipping them. And I was like, oh, that seems cool, but I don't know about that. And then another guy was just doing all over different. He was a federal. But all of them were federal level, so they were doing all different states. But he was doing stuff with the lawnmower, and then cleaning contracts and all of this kind of stuff. It still didn't really hit me yet, because I was just like, I don't know too much about it. I don't think that's something I want to do, But then a Facebook ad ran in my feed, and who is this guy with this handsome young man, Sean, showing up in my newsfeed, talking about the government, and the presentation was done really well, and it hit me. And it was real estate. It was real estate oriented, which I already had interest in, and then more importantly, you outlined the the level of starting from scratch and what the situation was in terms of why the government needed. So I knew it was recession proof, right? Then I was just like, well, how hard would it be to get contracts? And I listened to some of your calls, and you was like, well, three bids a week, within 90 days you should land one. And I was just like, you know what, I like those odds. That's pretty cool. But the one thing that really attracted me to it was the fact that there is no advertising costs. It's zero advertising costs. So my mind was like, wow, okay, this is what I want to do. Plus, I'm listening to some of the, no offense, but some of the guys that, subs that are coming to you trying to become primes now, they're not really technical. I'm a technical guy. I just learned how to do dropshipping. That's very technical, running Facebook ads. So the technical side, that's not something I'll struggle with. Again, some of the other guys that you spoke to, English is not their first language. English is my first language. I can communicate. I just spent 6 months dealing with a whole bunch of sellers that want $1 gazillion for their property, and if I lowball them, they'll get offended, and I have to kind of like navigate between those emotions and trying to get a good deal out of them. And so it just hit me that, you know what, this is exactly what I need, because I know how to negotiate, first of all. And obviously, I know I'll have to empty my cup to learn the new process that you have. And I appreciate that you have 35 years of experience. And also the fact that you have 35 years experience, that already moved you out of the way with the other three guys that I was looking at. And I think the thing that really attracted me, that you specialize in one area. That that to me speaks loud, because learning e-commerce, I had to focus on one area. I needed someone that knew how to do it to teach me, for me to gain that skill. I got that, and it looked after me for 6 years or so. When I got into real estate, I only did one deal, but again, I spoke to someone that was doing it for like 10 years. So the whole specialist thing really speaks to me, and I know that that's where I need to absorb the value from. Someone that knows exactly how to play the game, and I'm just going to learn from them, because one, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So I'm 39 years old, Sean. I'm going to be 40 next year. I have no girlfriend. I have no kids. Right now, I'm actually doing Uber. I'm in my car. I just stopped doing Uber trips to survive, because I mean that's all I have right now. And I really want to change my life, and I know that this is for me, Sean. Like, no one can convince me that this is for me. The question is who do I want to be my coach? And it's you, Sean. I don't want the other guys. I want you to be my coach. I've got $3,000. I'm expecting another 2,000. My brother's gonna help me with 1,500, and my mom's gonna help me with the remaining five. And then I'm ready to sign up. I just would love you to give me this opportunity to work with you, because I promise you I will not let you down. Um, I can put in about 3 hours a day into this business, and
That's
sorry,
all I ask. I mean, for heaven's sake, 3 hours a day will get it done. No problem.
right. So that's pretty much it for me, Sean. I'm getting a little bit emotional because
Fuck, dude, it is emotional. Making a change in your life and picking a path, and it's why I talk the way I talk in these Zooms when I talk to people, because fuck, it's not a function of the money, it's not a function of the time, it's a function of getting on a path that is consistent and constant no matter whether the economy is down or up. It's getting on a path where all the leads, all the solicitations that are just consistently and constantly dropping in. Hell yeah, it is emotional.
right. But yeah, I agree. I agree with you, and I'm just ready to. I'm ready to get the ball rolling, Sean. I don't think I've ever wanted anything else so badly, and I know I'm very lucky to be in the States right now, because I know this kind of opportunity I wouldn't have been able to do if I was in the UK.
It'd be
Basically,
problematic. I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but it would be
right.
problematic.
Yeah. So, and yeah, I'm a green card holder. I've been here 7 years. I'm waiting for my extension actually right now.
Yeah,
I've got my social security
news
number.
flash, you know, and to anybody who may ever come across this question ever again, I'm not sure it matters who owns the company. The federal government does business with companies, not people. Okay? And so I get this question a lot from the perspective of felony. If I have a felony, can I get into the federal government construction game? And the answer is yes, absolutely. In fact, if you Google that, the federal government has a court decision that essentially says the federal government does business with companies. Now the company can't have a felony. Okay, the company has to be a legal entity. Okay, but who owns that company matters not.
Okay. Well, I've got my LLC. In fact, I just reinstated it before I signed up for the SAM registration.
Yeah, by the way, you mentioned, did you get a voicemail? You should have gotten a voicemail from us like within 10 seconds of, and it would have said, here's the phone number if you have any problems.
Right. So the thank you page has the phone number on there. However, I have the Robo Killer app, which blocks all the spam. So
Ah,
the only way I can get calls is if I save the phone number, unfortunately.
yeah, but
But
it doesn't call. It actually just drops a
that's a
voicemail in.
voicemail. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't get it.
That's okay, but when we get off this, I'll make sure that that's handled today. No problem.
Okay. Okay. Um, the other thing is I did join your school group,
Okay,
but I think someone blocked me. I think someone in your team blocked me. They probably thought I was a spammer or something.
I can get that corrected. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to let you know that I'm here, and and I really want this opportunity, and I'm ready to do whatever it takes, Sean. Whatever it takes. I'm not the type of student. I mean, you've just seen my history. Paying for, and every time I spoke to someone and they said, "Hey, like, so how did you get into e-commerce?" Well, I paid this guy $3,000. Why would you pay someone? Well, because
You
if I
expect a
spend my time.
return on your investment.
Exactly. If I spend my time just hitting my head across the wall trying to figure this out, why do that when I could just learn from someone else? And some people don't really get that, but I really get that because I've seen how it's affected my life
I
already.
did it my entire career. I don't talk about this publicly a lot, but I've probably spent $100,000 over my career at George Washington University. They used to have these federal contracts classes. This was back in the 90s. I don't know if they still do it today. But yeah, you're getting all the benefits of everything I've ever learned.
Correct. Yes. And I think to be honest, I think you should be charging a whole lot more. To be honest, because yeah, 35 years of experience and what someone can do with one contract.
It's if you watch enough of my videos, you know that I'm not money motivated. None of this. I can't give it away, so I had to pick a number. And
Right.
so where do you pick the number?
Right. No, no, I get that. That's fair. That's definitely fair. Yeah, I get that. I mean, yeah, definitely can't give this stuff away for
Well,
free.
but
I
I
mean,
want somebody to have enough skin in the game where they expect to get a return on their investment.
investment.
The problem with charging somebody $1,000 is they might just spend the $1,000. They might half-ass listen to it or something. They're not really invested. They could just write that off and move the fuck on. I want
Right.
somebody in my program, and so I figured out that the dollar amount that we're charging is kind of where it's enough to make it hurt that you need to really
Yeah.
pay attention and get in this thing, but it's not enough to fucking kill you.
Right. No, I get that for sure. So yeah, that's just me spilling my guts, Sean. I hope if you have any questions. I mean, I don't really have any questions for you. I watched that last video with the 2 hours. That guy, he was asking so many questions. Unbelievable, man. I mean, he really wanted to know exactly like, if I shoot here, can I score? And
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, it doesn't work like that. You've got to put you got to play the game to figure it out. You know what I mean? I mean, the best thing you've done is showing us where the corners are, where the shapes are, and then you give us the information and you show us how to play. And that's all I ask, man. I mean, I just want to learn. Like, I honestly, I truly believe just listening to these guys, if Sean can teach me how to bid successfully, just forget about strategy and stuff. Just teach me how to bid. I'm gonna be very aggressive. I'm putting those bids in every day.
yeah,
Then, when I win a contract, just knowing how to communicate the specifications to the sub. Like, if I understand what I need to say to them and how to, like, obviously I don't know roofing language. I don't know a Sparky. We call them Sparkies in the UK. That's electrical. I
yeah.
don't know electrical, but I know over time, once I keep interacting with these guys, I will pick it up. I will learn.
That's
I'm a
right.
bust.
It's the same
I'll
thing as
pick
the
it up.
vocabulary you learned in the real estate market, right? It's just vocabulary. Concrete guys, they want to talk in cubic yards of concrete. Sparkies want to know what size, what gauge wire they're going to be pulling, what size conduit.
Right.
Roofers are going to want to talk in terms of square. These are just vocabulary words that you'll learn. I mean, that's just vocabulary words.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that's it. That's it for me, Sean. I just wanted to kind of introduce myself, letting me know that you're an absolute superstar. I don't understand how you're not more famous because if people would realize the value that you're giving, you're teaching people, it's insane. Like, like I said, like there's a guy that won the $13 concrete contract, his first contract. Moving rocks and sand from one location to the other. My mind was blown on that. And then you've got the other guy that he works as his regular job, and he only puts in like 5 bids a month, and he's already averaged like 70 grand in his pipeline, 75,000 in his pipeline. He's asked you about help on a job where he had to go into a prison, and he wanted to know like is there anything he
That's
And
why I
it's
always
great.
tell people that look, when you join my program, you get my personal cell phone number, and maybe you and I have texted and you already have it. But the point being, I'm completely available to my guys 24/7. If I'm awake and I can answer the phone, or actually if I can hear it ring, I answer it. Period. Doesn't matter if I'm in a movie. I walk outside the movie. Nothing's more important to me than my guys because people don't call me to go, hey, how's the weather? How was your weekend? Because they don't.
Right,
I don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. I want
right,
people call me because they're stuck and they need to know how to get past this step to move on to the next step. And,
right.
and those conversations only take 1 minute, 2 minutes. I mean, if you listen to my audio recordings, um, you know, they're not half hour. Most of them are just a few minutes, just solving some guy's problem, moving on. Unless it's really interesting, and then we dive
Right,
into it.
right.
But on the other hand, there's continued education, right? I mean, even guys that are have been in my program for 10 years still listen in every once in a while because I might talk about. You never know what shit's gonna come out of my mouth.
Yeah. It's yeah. Plus the area is very fast, Sean. Just the other day when I listened to one of the recordings where he was talking about uh how do you maneuver when the sub underperforms and you need to get someone else in there, and you was just talking about it. I've never, obviously I know that's in the training, but I've never heard you during any of your calls ever mention because no one's ever brought it up. But hearing you talk about how you make that maneuver and how they are beholden to the contract that you get them to sign, and you could even sue them and have them pay the difference if there's
That's
any
right.
extra. Like my mind was like, whoa, oh, is that how it works? Like, oh, wow, I didn't even know you could do all that. So it's just like all the stuff you put out in the videos are mind blowing, but I know the stuff in the 37-hour plus training is gonna be even mind blowing, and it's definitely gonna level me up. So I know how to play this game because I'm ready, Sean. I am ready to go to bat. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited for this. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I don't have any more questions, and I don't want to take any more of your time, Sean. I know you don't have. You might have a few more other calls to go after this, but yeah. Really this call was just to introduce myself and let you know who I am, and that I'm very excited to get in this. I'm very grateful as well for the opportunity and for you to consider me, and hopefully we can get that SAM registration done within the next couple of days, and then
Oh yeah.
once I get the funds ready, I'll shoot you a text, and then you can send me the link, and we can go ahead and get that going as well because I'm ready.
Not a problem.
All right then.
All right.
All
Great
right.
talking to you.
Great talking to you, Sean. Have a blessed afternoon. I don't know what the weather's like in Texas, but we're at 80 degrees here, and I know no one talks to you about the weather, but I hope you have a great weekend, Sean. That's all what I'm trying to say. Have a great weekend and happy holidays, and then we'll talk.
Yep. We'll be in touch.
All right, take care.
Bye bye.